as consumers change their buying and spending habits because of COVID-19. Names like Amazon, DoorDash, and Instacart are benefiting. Our Frank Holland explains how. Frank.
Hey, good morning to you, John. So 90% of the growth in e-commerce this year is a result of the spike in residential deliveries due to the pandemic. If you view the president declaring COVID-19 as a national emergency as the dividing line of the first 5 months of the year, it really illustrates the impact of the shift that we're seeing. So let's start with grocery delivery. That grew 50% year over year before mid-March. Afterwards, the sales nearly tripling. Instacart, the biggest gainer, growing 68% before mid-March, capturing a third of the industry sales. Afterwards, a whopping 445% sales increase in more than half the market. It also hired more than 550,000 workers to meet elevated demand. Peapod and FreshDirect actually losing a little bit of market share as industry-wide appointments became harder and harder to get online. Food delivery on pace to grow 26% before mid-March. You see the growth afterwards more than doubling. DoorDash seeing its sales nearly triple and growing its market share during a time when many restaurants have been closed or only offering takeout. Turning now to package delivery, Amazon made the biggest gains, shipping nearly a third of all e-commerce after mid-March compared to just about a fifth in the same period the year before. The company also hired more than 175,000 workers to meet elevated demand. And when it comes to overall e-commerce after mid-March, Amazon seeing its share rise from 20% to 30% year over year, with the post office still delivering more than a third of all packages. But with Amazon Prime memberships steadily growing and now the majority of online shoppers paying for Prime, you have to think that dynamic could change. Back over to you.
Frank, I'm wondering what the most recent data is telling you. We've seen such an acceleration of some of these trends, especially grocery delivery. As the economy begins to reopen, are people still going to Amazon and Instacart for their groceries?
Yeah, Deidre, great question. You know, grocery delivery, while it's still way elevated year over year, it is starting to decelerate just a little bit. Food delivery is starting to pick up a little bit. So it actually kind of gives you a sense of where consumers are seeing their ability to kind of get back to quote unquote normal. In grocery delivery, I think a lot more people are thinking maybe I can go back to the grocery store, but it appears at least a lot of people are more hesitant to go back to restaurants.
Hey, Frank, do you have a sense of how much Amazon's efforts to deliver its own packages have accelerated or benefited during this period? I mean, as their share has increased and demand has increased, I imagine it might have cemented some of the changes they've tried to make.
You know, absolutely. Obviously, Amazon's been steadily trying to ramp up its ability to deliver its own packages. We've all seen those blue vans in our neighborhood. So that's a big part of this story here is that Amazon's purposely, before the COVID-19 pandemic, it purposely was trying to take a bigger share of delivering its own packages and become a shipper in its own right.